The sea was silent that morning. Not peaceful, just empty. Where his boat once floated, only shattered wood drifted in the gray water. Ethan stood on the shore, salt on his skin, eyes hollow. For 15 years, that boat had been his pride, his purpose, his living. Now it was gone. And somehow, so was he. People in the small coastal town whispered. Some said he'd been reckless, others said it was bad luck. But the truth was simple. A storm that came too early, and a man who waited too long to turn back. He had fought the wind, shouted into the rain, begged the sea to show mercy. But by dawn, everything he owned had sunk beneath the waves. His wife stopped speaking much. His teenage son barely looked him in the eye. And that hurt more than the storm ever could. For months, Ethan didn't go near the water. He'd wake before sunrise out of habit, but sit at the edge of his bed, staring at the horizon he used to chase. He took small jobs, fixing nets, cleaning other men's boats, but each day felt like punishment, not purpose. The ocean, once his friend, had become a mirror, and every time he looked, he saw only failure staring back. Then one morning, while walking along the shore, he saw a young boy dragging a torn fishing net across the sand. It was ripped, useless, but the boy kept trying, tying knots with clumsy little hands. Ethan watched for a while, then said softly, "Mind if I show you how to fix that?" The boy nodded, and for the first time in months, Ethan's hands remembered what they were good at. They worked together, tying, looping, tightening, until the net began to hold again. The boy smiled. "Now it'll catch something," he said. Those words echoed inside Ethan's mind all night. Now it'll catch something. He realized maybe the sea hadn't taken everything, it had taken what he built, but not what he was. The next morning he borrowed an old rowboat, cracked, small, barely floating, and pushed out into the water. The waves scared him. The wind whispered doubts, but he rowed anyway. Fear wasn't a wall anymore. It was a compass, pointing him back to life. Days turned into weeks. The fish were few, but his faith grew with every sunrise. He sold what he caught, saved every dollar, and rebuilt. Slower, wiser, humbler. Soon people came to him for advice. Even his son began to join him again. One evening, as they mended nets together, his son asked quietly, "Dad, weren't you scared to start over?" Ethan smiled, eyes on the fading sun. "Every single day," he said, "but fear just means something's worth trying again." That night, the ocean didn't look empty anymore. It looked alive, it looked forgiving. Sometimes, losing everything is how we find what truly matters. And sometimes, the sea takes from us only to teach us how to rise again. Sometimes losing everything is how we find ourselves again.